trend in communications with respect to these financial restructurings. Have you seen that like there are heightened periods of time of activity, or do you think restructurings are following some sort of cycle, or do you think something else is at play
I
here?
think for many years there were economic cycles that led to more financial restructurings. Um, for the past 10 or 15 years, everybody's talking about the next wave of restructurings. And other than post financial crisis, there really hasn't been cycles or waves. Lots of people thought there would be a huge wave after COVID. There was a little bit of a increase in activity for companies that were in significant financial distress that COVID kind of pushed them over the edge. But I still think a lot of people who have been in this profession, whether it's for a long time or recently, are still waiting for the next wave. And so I think perhaps what the last several years has shown is not really so much cycles, but there need to be the right factors to drive companies to take this action. And for a long time, there haven't been those conditions. Credit's been relatively easy to get. And when companies have different alternatives to refinance their balance sheets, Chapter 11 is usually a last resort. So what we've seen, I think, over the last couple of years, other than COVID, the companies that have gone through Chapter 11 primarily are the ones that are using it for strategic reasons. So the mass tort bankruptcies, Johnson & Johnson, Boy Scouts of America, et cetera, where it's driven by legal and strategic reasons more than financial.
It seems that the economic circumstances are changing a bit right now with inflation. Cost of borrowing is not what it was even a year ago. Do you think that's going to change the opportunistic nature of how companies look at bankruptcies and Chapter 11 cases?
I think after the last decade or so, I think people are afraid to predict a huge wave of bankruptcies at any time or Chapter 11 filings. However, I think now is probably a likely a time there has been in recent years to expect a significant wave of restructurings, primarily because of the interest rate environment and the decreasing availability of capital. So if you think about what I just said, which is when companies have opportunities to refinance cheaply and there's lots of money in the system to bail companies out of financial distress, Chapter 11s are going to be very low. That equation is changing because the amount of money that's available and the cost of borrowing that money is significantly different, as you said, than even was a year ago. If interest rates continue to rise, if there continues to be the impact of COVID on supply chain and on consumer behavior, I think you're going to see within 6 to 12 months a significant wave. Very often you see a wave of restructurings after a holiday season. When I got into this business, I guess when I got into the legal business more than 25 years ago, what very often drove restructurings was how did a company do during the holiday season? There were a lot of retail bankruptcies and other businesses that were very dependent upon activity during the holiday season. I think you might see a significant wave of bankruptcies at the beginning of 2023 and throughout the course of next year.